Hello, once again, welcome. Today I have another topic to discuss with you, which is a part two of what I did with you the last time. You remember the last time I was talking to you about how to position the pocket of your trousers at the back. I told you that the dart at the back of your trousers will cut through the middle, exactly the middle portion of your pocket. And I demonstrated with you using a brown paper in that video. This is the second part of that video. And this time I'm going to discuss with you when the dart is two, when the trousers have two darts at the back, how are the darts positioned and how is the pocket also placed at the back of the trousers. So now let's get started with it. When the trousers has two darts at the back, what it means is that there is a need for some kind of allowance or fullness at the seat area. And so you need to introduce another dart. And the allowance of the dart intake, when the dart is held, will provide some sort of fullness in addition to the seat area for comfort. Okay, so usually what happens is that the difference in between the seat and the waist of the wearer of the trousers, that is what may require you to introduce the second dart. So for instance, when you have, let's say, a seat of about 42 inches and a waist of about 34 or 33. In this instance, when you draft a pattern for that trousers, you get to notice that the center back, where the crotch line of the center back passes through, it requires that you introduce another dart, or you add more space or more allowance to that area before you can get the crotch line passing through the appropriate place it's supposed to pass. And that is what causes the need for a second dart. And that allowance will add more space to the seat area when the dart is held. I hope you understand. Okay, so when you want to introduce a second dart to a trousers at the back, what happened? The other time I made you understand that you will divide the seat by 12 and then add 1.5 inches. And that will be the center of your darts. So I gave you that formula. It is that same formula you are going to use here. But the different thing you are going to do here is that this time, that place is not going to be the center of your dart. When you use that formula and measure from that side of the side of the trousers back, where that measurement will hit is not going to be the center of your dart this time when you are dealing with two darts, but rather it's going to be the center point of the two darts. That's going to be the center point separating the two darts. So what happens is that when you get that measurement of using that formula, you mark that point, then you move 1 inch on the left and 1 inch on the right. And when you move 1 inch apart from that point, that means you're going to get 2 inches of space in between the 2 points you have marked from right and left. So where you have marked from left and right, that is where your darts are going to start from. So if you want to make 1 inch dart intake, that means you will measure 1 inch from where you mark 1 inch from where you are separating the two darts, and then that becomes your dart intake for the other dart. You move 1 inch to the other side, and then that becomes the dart intake for the second dart. So how do you place the pocket on these two darts? Remember that where you marked separating the two darts, that becomes the center point separating the two darts. And that is the same point that is going to strike a division in your pocket. So that line, when it is drawn downwards, you divide your pocket length through that line. So if your pocket is 5 inches, that means 2.05 is going to go on the right side and 2.05 is going to go on the other side, which will give you 5 inches. If it's more than 5, whatever measurement you want your pocket to have, then just make sure that the center point that is dividing the or separating the two dots, it passes through the center, exactly the center of your pocket. And that's all. So the next time you want to do 2 dots for a trousers at the back, that is how you do it. And your pocket is going to be very beautiful. Your trousers is going to be nice looking at it from the back. Thank you.